Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Candid Campus. I'm your host, Lauren Lucas, and today I'm joined by Executive Director of Campus Wellbeing and Director of Fraternity and Sorority Life, Mila Padgett. Mila, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
So you grew up in Standish, Michigan.
I did.
How did it shape who you are today?
I feel it's a small community, so it has one stoplight, if that gives any context, very rural. And at the time, I don't really think I realized how it shaped me, but now if I look back at it, it was a small community feel. So everybody was at the American Legion fish fries, or in high school, all the parents knew each other. I'm still friends with my high school friends today, and I think it is because it is a small knit community. And now I value that a lot because I know a lot of people and still know them today.
Yeah, that's awesome, especially like having that tight knit and having those good relationships with people. So you've been at USCA Aiken since 2010. What originally brought you here?
The job. So I had never heard of Aiken before I came here, and there was a job opening. At the time, it was the director of the Wellness Center, I think that was the title, and applied for it, got an interview, came here really sight unseen and only saw a small piece of Aiken, like literally the campus and one spot downtown, and was offered the job and said yes. So a little bit, I tend to be like that. I just was like, okay, this is our next step.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So what does your day-to-day look like in your roles?
It is not the same, which suits my personality. I'm not a person that can do the same exact thing every day, but I do also like structure. It's kind of weird. I would say I have a handful of meetings with different either students, committees, my staff, and then work on events. So if we're putting on something for Fraternity and Sorority Life or something in the Wellness Center, it might have to do with that. Work with student employees to also put on events. So at the Rec and Well program, we use student leaders a lot. So you have to invest in them, make sure that they are supported in what they want to do, but they're the ones leading the programs. And then it's random stuff that comes up. Sometimes we'll have an emergency we have to deal with. Sometimes there's a fire, not a literal fire, but like something in your day that comes up. You're like, oh, I forgot about this, or this just randomly surfaced. So yeah, it's something a little bit different every day.
What events have y'all been doing with the Rec Well leaders recently?
Girl Let's Talk is going to have a group that starts next week. So hopefully, I have not looked at the registrations to see where that is. Over the fall semester, they had 40 plus people that enrolled in that. So that was pretty amazing. A couple of things that we have coming up would be we're having a workout party at the Wellness Center on April 27th. That'll be fun. We're still flushing out what that's going to look like. The Well in general has dog days coming up in April, so there'll be some puppies and dogs on campus, which everybody loves. Intramurals outdoor is in full force, so soccer and all that starting down in Pacer Pit. So yeah, we have a lot going on, and we collaborate a lot with other groups on campus, which is what we should be doing instead of all doing our own thing, is trying to figure out how do we come together so we have more students that we're impacting.
Right. So being the Director of Campus Wellbeing, what does wellness mean to you?
I would say that it's individualized for every person, and it is something, so there's wellness and well-being, and I look at them a little bit differently. Wellness to me is all the things that are out there for people to impact their health. Well-being is internal to each person. So if you are struggling with stress, that may be individual to you and whatever stressor you deal with. So you have to figure out what strategy am I going to pull together to help me with that specific thing. I use an example a lot. Like, I used to be really nervous about public speaking. Like, when I was in your shoes, oh my gosh, it was stressful to me. But now it's not. Like, I've practiced it, I go over it, I present all the time in front of various groups. But to somebody else, that is still, like, that's something that impacts them. And so you have to really look at it as an individual and what is going to help you just be well. And that's feeling good from the inside out. Could be nutrition, could be exercise and movement. It could be sleep. Sleep is massive, and it impacts everything. So it's how a person feels from the inside out while doing things that help your body, because you are the only person that can do that for yourself. No one else can. And there's not a magic pill. We wish there was, but there's not. So you have to put in the work to do it.
So what advice would you give students that are trying to do better in their wellness and well-being and trying to go on their own journey and path?
Yeah, I would say you have to do a real good self-awareness of and be honest about where you're at. So there's different surveys you can do and that gives you a clue. Sleep is a big one for the college-age population, and that dominoes everything. If you're sleep deprived, you tend to eat poorly. You tend to want more caffeine. You tend to want more Alanis, whatever it may be, like whatever that is, because you're trying to fill a void. That sleep is the only thing that can fill it. So I always say, try to tackle your sleep. Another thing is to move your body. We're meant to move, and we're not moving the way that we need. It doesn't have to be like 100 burpees. It does not have to be that, but it does need to be up and walking across campus instead of driving, like park your car in the back. It also means that you have to choose good foods. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to include good protein, some fruits and vegetables, drinking water, try to decrease. I love me a Starbucks, but that is just a ice cream shake in a cup. They're full of calories and it's all sugar. So everybody is a little different, but you have to figure out and be aware for yourself, what is it for you? And the other thing I would say is, I just listed a whole bunch of things, is one at a time. Don't try to change the world because you created it over 18 years, 22 years, wherever you're at. One thing at a time, and it will domino on each other.
I think that's one thing that I wish I kind of knew in the beginning, was because if you try to tackle all of these different things at once, it's not going to work, and then you're just going to give up.
No, it is one of the reasons why the New Year's resolution kind of age in January is people make a laundry list. They start not being successful, and then they're just like, forget it.
Yep.
I can't do this. And then it is interesting, your internal dialogue changes, right? So then you're not confident in yourself. And then depending on your self-talk, you're not talking nice to yourself. And that also causes you not to do something to improve yourself. So it's such a cyclical thing. So, that would be another thing I would say to help with your well-being. If you're a person that does not speak kindly to yourself, change that, because that will start the domino. Just tell yourself, yes, you're good. You can do this, because that makes a big difference.
Yes. And someone who works at the Wellness Center, a lot of students don't know about the opportunities that are on campus. So like, we have the gym, but we also have the classes, which you teach one of them. Yeah. And we also have the nutrition coaching and stuff like that. So
yes, there are lots of things that are out there that are available. I mean, I just met with 2 students today that had not been in the Wellness Center since they started classes here. So we're buried in a basement. Like, I often, make a joke, like, I'm going back to the basement. It is a barrier for us because people just aren't aware. It's not necessarily the place where you would think there's going to be a gym is in the basement of a building.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely tricky.
So you've recently been enjoying social media, podcasts, and books. What have you watched or listened to recently that you would recommend?
I don't know if what I would recommend is what everybody else. I am kind of random. So I have recently been listening to Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
The latest one was on AI, which is fascinating to me, and how you can infuse AI in what you do. But bottom line, this AI expert was talking about, it's really where my philosophy is too, is living a fulfilled life is about relationships and your connection to people. So it's kind of interesting to watch how we are more disconnected now because of technology in the way of like how we're talking. People talk a lot, but it's through a device. And also people are more lonely now than what they used to be because they're not getting this human connection. But AI is here. So how do we balance both of those things while not completely losing our ability to act a fool in front of somebody, right? Or be embarrassed, or finding out something about someone with a face-to-face conversation versus all text. So so that's my latest one. I listen to a lot of health and well-being, communication, relationships. That's kind of where my stuff goes. And crime stories. That's kind of random. Yeah.
Love a good crime story.
Yeah.
What is the Diary of a CEO? Who's that by?
Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also not good. I need to figure out how to be better, is to remember things like that. Like I know it's called Diary of a CEO, but I don't necessarily know like the host name or even the guest. Like the guest that was on there, I honestly don't remember his name.
You're just listening to listen.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
If you had a free weekend with zero responsibilities, what would you be doing?
Probably outside in some way, by water in some way. I camp a lot in a tent, so probably tent camping, rafting or paddleboarding or something like that would more than likely be where I'm at.
So you like roughing it camping? You don't like glamping?
I like both.
Yeah.
I am on both sides, but yes, I have roughed it pretty big. Yeah.
Is there any specific place you like to go?
Not really specific. I have found like I like freshwater a little bit more than saltwater these days. I don't know why, because I do love the beach. Definitely, because then you can jump in because you don't have a shower. Like in saltwater, I don't feel like I actually got clean.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Or there's just tons of sand. But yeah, the mountains, definitely. I love out west. It's beautiful, crisp air, just feels a little bit different. So I would say out west somewhere.
So you said yes to rafting in the Grand Canyon.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were on the river for 16 days. Tell me all about that story.
Yeah. So this is one of those, sometimes you just say yes and you don't really even know what you're getting yourself into. And funny enough, I was dating this guy, which I still am, but I wasn't seeing him that long into this trip. So he does this. He is an outdoor professional. That's kind of what he does. And he's like, listen, I would like you to go on this trip with me. It's 16 days. You're going to raft the Grand Canyon. I didn't really know what that meant. Well, what it means is big water, really big water, and you are self-sufficient. You enter the Grand Canyon and you get on the water and you do not see people for 16 days. You do not take a shower. The water's freezing also. I had no idea. It makes sense. It's coming out of a dam. It's freezing. But I didn't know that. And you bring all your own food. So you have 16 days worth of food. Most people actually sleep on a cot. I wasn't at that. I was like, can we please have a tent? So we slept in a tent. But it was the most awe-inspiring trip that I've ever done. And I just said yes. Like I was like, yeah, okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. And there were 10 of us total, so 2 people per boat. And the water was really big. I was a little afraid, but it was still good.
Would you do it again?
I would, in the right atmosphere. I almost am like, okay, I did it, I don't have to do it again, but if I was asked by the right group, then yeah, probably.
What did you learn out of that experience?
Well, another thing that happened to me is I was not prepared. I got sick, so like, not great sick. So I was sick probably 2 days, purging in different ways. And you have to share with people when you're not well, because in that environment, it can go bad real fast. And you have to allow people to help you. I'm not always really good about that. I'm kind of like, I'm going to grit this out and I'm going to get it done. So that was definitely one thing. And you can survive, right? And still have a good time. So that wasn't planned. It wasn't wonderful. But I still was like, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime thing, and I am going to make the best of it. And I just adapted, you know. Adaptability is key. Like, you never know what's going to be thrown at you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to roll with it, and you can't plan it all out. So yeah, that part was a big life lesson.
So toward the end of Candid Campus episodes, we do a segment of this or that. So I'm going to list a couple of things, and then you just say the first one that comes to mind.
Okay.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Call or text?
Text.
Sandals or sneakers?
Oh, sandals.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Movie date or dinner date?
Dinner.
The station or the sack?
Station.
We've had, I think, majority of the people on here have said the station.
Yeah.
They have good subs.
Yeah, they do have good subs.
Well, thank you, Mila, for joining me on this episode. Be sure to catch up on everything Pacer Studios on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and we will see you guys next week.